Hey guys.
I'm Bob.
I'm Barb. Together we make up
HetteshWorld.
It's fall, so it is chowder time. Or is it chowder?
Chowder.
Chowder.
Recipes are going to be keto recipes, but they are going to be delicious for every taste bud.
We've had some requests for some of our recipes and cooking, and I've got a few in the chain to come out. So we are going to start with our salmon chowder and chicken chowder, so it's a 2-for-1.
Yep.
Then we got a bonus recipe at the end that will work perfectly as an addition to both of the above recipes.
You're all going to love that.
So we're going to link everything below. We're going to show you how we do it, so stay tuned. We're Bob and Barb. We've lived by the rules all of our lives, but in 2020 we threw that rule book out the window. We sold our home and moved full-time into an RV with our cat Amelia, and from now on we will be living life our way. Don't you want to come travel in our world? Alright, so we're going to start our chowder.
Yep.
And Bob is going to season his salmon, and I'm going to season my chicken. Now Bob, how do you season your salmon? What do you do with it?
Well,
I don't eat salmon.
normally if I'm going to grill salmon, I'll just do basic salt, pepper, and some lemon, and I'll grill it. But since it's going to be in this chowder, I'm just going to salt and pepper. We're going to pan fry it, and then I'm going to pull it off pull the skin back because I don't want the skin in the soup.
Yeah.
And then we're going to add it into the chowder.
We're getting as fresh as we can down here in South Carolina.
Yep.
So my chicken, we have our spices here. I like to do salt, pepper with a little bit of garlic and onion. I like that for most any kind of chicken recipe I make.
Yep.
So we're going to go ahead and get our stuff spiced up.
Yep. And in the pans, we just got some butter started. Some of our delicious almond butter,
Yep.
or Amish butter that we use.
Yeah, we love Amish butter. There is nothing like it at all. It's amazing. And you can use oil. You don't have to use butter. You can use anything you want in your pan.
Yep. So now we're just going to get the salmon going and the chicken going for our chowders. A whole stalk of celery is used. It's going to be kind of coarsely chopped because we are going to run the boat motor through it. So it's going to be, you're basically going to, let's turn it into a sauce basically.
And we're going to start out doubling what the recipe is, which we will talk about when it comes time to mixing it. And it gets to a certain point until we must separate for salmon versus chicken.
Yeah, because Barb's not into the salmon. I'm a seafood lover. Barb is not so much. So Barb's preparing the garlic for the recipe.
Now this we're not mincing as fine because we are going to run it through the boat motor. Alright, next is onion. So we're going to start out with 4 tablespoons of butter.
Yep.
And remember, what goes into the big pot will eventually be split between the big and the small pot when we add in our meats. Half a cup of onions just went in. And then we're going to go ahead and add our celery in.
Get out of there. Get in there. Can't escape.
So we're putting in a full teaspoon of salt, and then we always taste this before we split everything up because we want to make sure it's got the flavor that we want. Sometimes it needs a little more salt, sometimes it doesn't. Listen to the sizzling sound of it all mixing together. So now with the butter and the celery and the garlic and the salt, you're just going to saute this for probably about 5 minutes. You want to get these kind of nice and tender and a little bit loosened up to release some of the juices. Then we will add our chicken stock. Okay, so while that is simmering, before we put in some more ingredients, Bob is...
Well, this chicken, I'm just going to kind of pull it apart a little bit. Just to break it up a little bit before it goes into the
chowder.
The chowder.
And the salmon, do you do the same with the salmon?
The salmon's very delicate. It's going to just fall apart, so I'm not going to have to do too much with it.
Yeah. So in case you were wondering, that is the answer.
Yeah, we're gonna shred this up a little bit so it's not chunks. We don't want to make it chunks. We want to kind of make it look more like a stew.
Yep. Next, we're going to add in 3 cups of Barb's homemade chicken stock.
Which is delicious.
It is amazing. All the good things that it comes with and all the different unique stuff I found on the road that I've been able to mix in when I make it. All right, so 3 cups of that. And then we're going to do a tablespoon of tomato paste. I do a lot of my own tomato stuff, but not paste. And then we're going to stir that in and let it simmer. So the next step is we are going to add 8 ounces of cream cheese here, and I'm all out of my fresh farm, but we're going to put it right into here. Then we're going to let it melt for a little bit. Now that this is in here, we're going to let it simmer for a little bit, and then Bob's going to use the boat motor to bring it all together. Bob's toy that he loves. Now in the RV, Bob gets excited with his toy. He thinks it's a grill, so we have to cover it to make sure it don't splatter everywhere. But this boat motor by KitchenAid is incredible because this is also what we use on the tomato soup. It really breaks everything up. And we're coming into a nice to-be broth. Bob's got this blended up pretty good. We are going to add 3 cups of cream in. So this is 2 cups.
That's the goodness right there.
And then here comes cup number 2.
One thing about the keto diet, heavy cream is your best friend.
And now we are going to boat motor it up just a little bit more. Our new cooktop is coming great because we have used 4 burners all at the same time. So we have split the broth between 2 pots. We've done 6 cups in each.
And that was about 6 cups in each.
6 cups each. So now Bob is going to add the chicken to mine and just let it simmer for a little bit. And then Bob is going to add the salmon.
Mine, I'm just going to drop it. I'm just going to basically break it up and put it in there.
When we got the salmon, we actually got 2 of these, and they came already nice and zipped and great for RVing. And we probably could have cooked both of them up for Bob. But that's okay.
Yeah, this will make a nice hearty soup. Or a chowder.
A chowder. When this is finished up, Bob is supposed to add capers or olives, which we have olives to the top of his, a little bit of red onion to both of ours, but someone at the grocery store kept our red onion. Yeah. So no red onion today, which is fine.
There's onion in the mix.
That's all you need.
Alright, this is the chicken. Nice and creamy. Get some of that chicken in there.
Ooh, steamy.
Steamy golden goodness.
Now it's time for Mr. Bob's.
I'm not allowed to mix the ladle up because Barb don't want any of this salmon.
No alligators. No salmon.
Leave that spoon for me, babe.
Nope. So guys, you have to tell us what you think about this. What would be your choice for chowder?
Yep.
So this is our bonus recipe. If you're all ready, what goes with chowder? What goes with? How do you say it? What goes with
chowder?
Chowder. Chowder.
What goes with chowder and soups better?
Crackers.
Crackers.
So this is a recipe we have been using probably the longest since we've been RVing, and it is our own keto-friendly recipe, and it involves very simple ingredients.
Almond flour, salt, sea salt or coarse salt,
flaxseed,
the main ingredients, everything bagel, spice.
Or a sea salt if you want.
Or a sea salt topping if you want it to be more like a saltine cracker.
And water.
And water, and it's that simple.
That
you bake
simple.
it. So we're going to show you how we did that.
I always do a double batch. So the recipe I'm going to list below is a double batch. It calls for 2 cups of almond flour. We're using a half cup here just because it's easier to get out of our container. It calls for 6 tablespoons of water. Remember, this is a double batch. It calls for 2 tablespoons of flaxseed, and it calls for 1 tablespoon of coarse sea salt, which is what we use.
And this is finely ground, blanched almond flour.
Yeah, you want to make sure that it's definitely blanched and like he said, finely ground. None of those funky colors or you get weird stuff.
And then we want to do our salt.
Teaspoon of
the salt.
Yep.
It's going to go in there.
Yep. And then we're going to do
the flaxseed.
2 of the flaxseed. And in the meantime, I have these Wisedrys I want to show you. Being in an RV, these are a lifesaver. If you have any kind of products at all, you put them in there, it keeps the moisture out. They are perfect. I'll link it below.
So, and then we're going to add our 6 tablespoons of water.
Yep.
And that's all there is to it on the mixture.
Okay, so next we're going to roll it out, and then we will tell you how we use this everything bagel in just a few moments.
So this here, I'm going to use my hands. My hands are very clean. I'm just going to kind of I'm going to work the ingredients here a little bit in the bowl first. And it's kind of a firm batter. It's not going to be consistency of
like a pancake or anything.
Yeah, it's going to be very firm because it's going to be a cracker.
Yeah. Oh, we are going to need one other thing you will need is a pizza cutter. So
what I normally do, or we do together, we usually get it.
Bob's the official cracker maker.
Yeah, what we do is just get it on the parchment paper.
Yep. You want to make it on the parchment paper because you can't get it off at this point, and you can bake on parchment paper if you're not aware of that. That's something I not always knew my whole life. Do not use wax paper as it will melt in the oven.
So we want to just get these ingredients all combined, and then we're gonna roll this out into a maybe about an 1/8 inch. We found the thinner you get them, the better they are, or the more firm they turn into a cracker.
Yeah, because you want to be able to bite it and get that feel.
Yeah, you want to get that little cracker crunch. So I just kind of get it combined. It doesn't take very long at all.
Yep.
And
smash it out.
We just smash it out best we can before we roll it. And it's not going to be perfectly square. I mean, you can sit there and we used to cut it up and try to make it exactly perfect.
Cuts the little end off and puts it back on, trying to make a perfect square.
But usually what we'll do is we'll just take it like this.
You like the roller?
Yeah, we'll roll it out a little bit.
I have a nice aluminum lightweight roller that comes in my camper with me. Yes, I have a lot of baking stuff.
So we're going to roll this out.
Yeah.
And we probably should have had a little more parchment paper, but
yep. Parchment paper is cheap, so it is okay to waste it if you need to. But that's okay. It's the idea.
Yeah, without the parchment paper, like you can see, it's sticking to the roller a little bit. It makes it a lot tougher to do.
But you really want to make it as stretched out as you can, as thin as you can.
Yeah, it will rise a little bit, but not much in the oven.
Yeah.
But we like to get it pretty flat. And then we just like to transfer the parchment paper right to the pan.
Yep.
So there's no real mess. I'll lift this parchment paper up and make sure that we're pretty flat here.
And if you want, you can have a piece of parchment paper down and then another piece on top of it, which is fine. Ta-da!
Usually what I'll do is I'll cut the little thicker edges off and we'll combine it up here.
The crackers can be any size is what we're getting ready to show you, but we like this size, which Bob's going to cut now.
Yeah, we do like maybe a 1-inch square.
We took it somewhere on a trip recently where we made it like a Lunchable. You know, we had the little cracker and I put a little bit of cheese and lunch meat on it, and I was like, look, I have Lunchable.
Plus the little small ones we'll sit there and we'll snack on them.
Why pre-cut it, right? You pre-cut it so that way when it's done, they just snap right apart. It's too difficult to try to cut it after it's cooked. And this gives you nice kind of little perfect squares if you do it ahead of time.
Well, right now we got our oven set around 400 degrees. And
if we were in the Great British Bake Off, we'd be in trouble for not doing exactly same size crackers, but we like our crackers all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Now that we have it cut the way we want it, the last thing you do before you put it in the oven is your topping. And Bob is putting on everything but bagel seasoning. Now there's a lot of that out there. I only like Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has a good mixture of everything, and it's actually very fresh when you get it. So I'm very happy with it. I bought some cheap stuff off Amazon. Don't do it. It was just a lot of salt. Now this gives you a nice flavor for all kinds of things, but if you're doing just a soup and you want just a saltine cracker, which this is really a saltine cracker recipe, you just take your sea salt and you do the same thing and put it on the top of it, and then you've got your saltine crackers.
yeah, this has got, you can smell the garlic and the salt and stuff in this, so it's
Can you smell it?
smells so
My
good.
mouth's watering.
So we'll just give them a light pat.
Yeah, pat them in there, because if you don't, when they are done, they'll come off. So you want to pat it in there really good.
So we're gonna put it in there.
And we're gonna bake it for.
We're gonna do 10 minutes on
Yep.
the timer.
Yep. So this is what they should look like when they come out. They should be crispy like a cracker. Able to snap off like that. They're hot. These cooling racks I also got. I have 2 of them. They're easy to carry. They're lightweight. So they're perfect when you're in the RV. But we'll let those crack up. We break them into crackers and we store them.
So the pizza cutter does a great job of making sure these are crackers. And you can see the crispiness. I'm just stacking them here on the tray. So you want to try to get these as thin as you can. And some of them got a little darker than others, but they still taste good.
Oh no, they're good.
I actually like the crispier ones better because they taste more like a cracker to me in my mouth.
Yeah, this is a good saltine recipe, saltine cracker recipe.
So on mine, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of olives in mine on the top to finish it.
Why would someone do that?
Barb's picky eater.
And then both of ours are supposed to have the red onion in it, but we don't have the red onion for the topping. That's okay. And then we also have our delicious homemade crackers. And we didn't do the saltine, we did that everything bagel, but the bagel seasoning.
So now Bob's going to give a taste test to his. I'm going to taste mine. Cheers.
All right.
That's very good.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Love it.
Oh, my spoon just is Bob.
Yeah. She uses a shovel.
I gotta get the job done. All right.
It's going to be warm. See the steamer rolling.
I know. It's really good.
It's some good eating.
The cream really, adds to it. Definitely add in the extra teaspoon of salt. You need it. The vegetables, the stock, everything is fresh. This is 100% keto, healthy, RV eating, natural. Why not?
Yep. Now who's going to do all the dishes?
Hello? Where are our people?
Chop chop.
People.
Come on, we need our people.